So yesterday were three earnings results. One of them that kicked off the week was Pure Storage. I'll let you run this one.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. So first off, Pure a few weeks back revised their numbers up. So we had a pretty good idea what they were going to come in with. So it really wasn't much of a surprise. A couple of my big takeaways is that, first of all, if I look at a 6-month period, there were only two vendors that saw storage growth in the entire industry, which is kind of shocking, but not shocking given the challenge in the enterprise and government data centers. So the revenue was off 4%, but everybody's getting hammered in infrastructure, so I'm not concerned. Customers were flat, which I thought was the only, I would say, negative sign. Gross margin 69%, which is completely eye popping. But again, we're not financial analysts or day traders, so we are really looking at these for more insights. And I did get a couple things out of the call. Portworx, they said the sales were ahead of schedule on that integration. They didn't give any data that said exactly what the expectations were, but I take Charlie and the team on their word. The other thing, and it's funny, Pure loves to introduce new services during earnings, and a lot of recently public companies will do this, and they came up with an expansion of Pure as a service, and essentially, you can cut by block. You can cut by object. You have 6 tiers with different performance, commitment. It is exactly what you want. And I have to tell you, this is the way storage as a service should be done. And I think it really exemplifies that the company is focused on CX, customer experience, in a very similar way that they do their software. And I know software is not the same as services, but I feel like you've got to have a CX software angle to be good at a CX SaaS or IaaS type of service. And anyways, we'll see how it goes. I think they're going to do well with this.
Yeah, Pat, I've been pretty forward in my past commentary about Pure Storage that I admire the company's attention to CX. I admire the fact that it has differentiated itself on Net Promoter Score and being one of the easiest companies to do business with in storage. I admire the fact that the company is trying to differentiate a category that can be somewhat service intensive and not always at the highest satisfactory rates. I remain a little bit challenged by the company trying to be specialized in an era as all the converging systems are coming together more and more as part of compute, storage, networking, edge. Everything that people are looking for is being a niche going to work. And the real challenge that came up for me, Pat, in these earnings were the losses that are mounting. At some point, Pure Storage has to get profitable. The losses were 3 times roughly the losses from a year before. Now, again, tough year. So I give every company some wiggle room there. But my big worry, Pat, is this isn't necessarily a hyper growth business, right? This isn't a hyperscale cloud or SaaS offering at scale in the sense of like ERP or CRM or collab, where you have the chance to take on millions of users in a quarter with the right conditions. And so where's the growth going to come from to turn the corner for Pure Storage? So like I said, the service, the delivery, the offering, the customer focus, a lot of good things, Pat. But I mean, and maybe you have some thoughts on this before we wrap up this segment, but my one big concern is if this company is going to really rise going forward, at some point, profitability has to be part of its story.
Yeah, Daniel, there is no debate on the profit portion. But as we've seen, I mean, how many years was it Amazon lost money before it made money. Look at Tesla. How many years did Tesla lose money? Right. As to the getting broader in offerings, I do see the good news is I do see Pure Storage doing it, whether it's a Kubernetes, whether it's converged infrastructure with partners. You might notice they do a bunch with NVIDIA for converged infrastructure, and they're doing more with networking partners as well. But good thoughts, good analysis, and those are my adders. Thanks for that
Absolutely.
opportunity, Daniel.
Hey, no worries. I want to punt it back. I mean, you and I tend to agree on most things. I think we both like the company, but I think in fairness, these are just questions that need to be asked.